people who are in service positions. And one of the service positions is clerks and people who wait on you at the grocery store, waitresses, people that come to fix things at your house. These are service areas. Mostly, these people are not treated any better than a fixture. The situation is simple. If a person reaches out, takes an honest-to-goodness personal interest in that individual, then, and only then, do you start having what's called a rapport. This involves just simply reaching out with your caring that you know that person probably stands up all day and their feet hurt, or that they deal with people who are not exactly the greatest to deal with, whether they're acting stupid or treating the individual incorrectly or whatever. There's a lot of things that goes into this, but primarily the basis of the idea is that if a person reaches out to another person, you end up starting a conversation. They'll end up telling you about their lives, what they do, what they would like to be, what is going on, about their kids or their family or someone they know. This gives you the opportunity to have the conversation, the type of conversation showing that you care, that you really give, that you just, simply care that person is giving enough to do the job that other people won't. In that light, then what happens when you start talking about important things? Well, it's simple. You don't talk about them. You let them talk. Ask them the question. What do you feel should be done? How should things change? You involved in anything personally? I mean, if it's a high school kid, part-time at the grocery store or part-time waitressing on the weekends, well, what do you do? What do you do in school? What are you studying? And things of this nature. If it's an older person, hey, you got kids, you got grandkids, and just be quiet and listen. You'd be amazed at the responses you get. People will tell you everything you want to know, and real easily. Now, the thing I'm looking at is this. It is in this way that you can then give them a website address. Are you online? Yeah. You like to fool around online and see what's going on? Oh, yeah. You don't like TV, huh? Nah, they don't give you the news, so I go online and find out what's really going on, and yada, 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 and whatever. Okay? This is all cool. And the response that you get, did you check that website out? This is the next time you see them. Did you have a chance to go look at that? Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. Some of the things that people get involved with don't have anything to do with anything of any value. And this is what everybody is looking for. Not only something of value, but also something that gives them value. Any effort. And believe me, we get a ton of requests. How can I help? How can I get involved? My answer to those people has been to look around. Who might you know? Who do you deal with on a daily basis? Who might be interested in real freedom? And what do you do about that? Well, you don't start off, as Lady Dragon said, with a whole bunch of heavy-hitting things. About the NWO and and these crooks over here and those bad guys over there. They don't want to hear that. What they do want to hear is, how am I valuable? That is always, in terms of recognition, recognizing a person's value, you cannot do any better than to involve an individual. So, one of those people I'd like to involve is Minuteman. I understand that they just turned him on. Are you there, Minuteman?
Yes, sir. Oh, you bet. Jump in here, Drake. We had a little technical difficulty, it looks like, but glad to be here. And yeah, you're exactly right.
You mean the dog ate your? Did the dog eat your phone?
No. I guess there was something up with the board or something. But hey, we just waited patiently till they figured it out.
Okay. I got questions for you. I've kind of beat Lady Dragon up a little bit. Now it's your turn.
You betcha.
How do you see what we've been covering?
Pardon again? Say one more time.
I said, how do you see what we've been covering?
How do I see what you've been covering? As far as community and everything goes, well, we're on the same page. Needless to say, I've been striving for the same goals that Freedom Reigns has, and it was a good hookup to, get together and try to bring people on board with not only community functions, but also to help build our Second Amendment militias here in the United States. And, oh, by the way, I want to make sure that our listeners know no matter where you're at in the world, you have the right to defend yourself. You have the right to a well-regulated militia. Our founders didn't grant us those rights. They enumerated them because they recognized them as every natural person's right. Everybody that's born should have a right to defend themselves. So, hey, guess what? You people in them other places of the world, by all means, get your militias together. Defend your communities. As the arrest parts, it's going slow, but hey, we're seeing some progress. It isn't what everybody expected at first, but hey, folks, look, it's not Drake's timeline here. I've noticed a lot of people who are wanting to blame Drake for the timeline. Drake was just delivering you a message. He's made that clear from day one. I know. I was listening when Drake came out, and I checked everything out, and I listened very carefully to what Drake said, and he made sure to tell everybody that, look, this timeline is not mine. So, look, all you people out there wanting to kick our brother Drake in the shins, it's not his message. Remember that. So, Drake's just telling you what he can tell you, when he can tell you, by the people that give him that message. It's that simple.
Well, there's something else too.
Sure.
I found out from friends that I was a little premature in what I did in terms of outing this, and some people who are administering the plan got a little upset about that, and I don't blame them. So I look at this as a little bit of I thought at first a payback. And then I thought, well, I wonder. And as a lot of people know, I deal with the principals, the people that are actually doing these things. So I decided to ask my international friends what was going on. They said, well, I'm not real sure. Let me check and see. So the following day, which was about 3-4 days ago, they came back with a real definitive answer. There were a couple, and still are, a couple of legalities that need to be put in place before this plan can be implemented. Those things are in progress. I can give you that much good news. How long it's going to take for these things to actually finalize, I have no idea. And even if I did, just because they can't make the timeline because now they got to wait on something else, I'm not going to give any timelines. I'm going to say a few weeks. I'm hoping. This is what everybody's been saying to me, including my contacts in the military. A few weeks. So it can be however many a few weeks is. I'd say soon. And I would also suggest that everybody simply start getting prepared to handle the awesome responsibility of freedom. This is not something simple. It ain't easy to carry. It's kind of heavy duty. You're gonna have to redesign your local governments to an extent because you don't need near the government that you got and things of this nature. Minuteman can tell you how difficult it is just to get everybody going the same direction, let alone marching in steps. So, you know,
very. It's not an easy task, folks. If you take on that effort, know this: you're going to have to be tough. You just got to be tough, and you got to hang with it. And I heard Drake mentioning earlier about conversations with people. Look, you know, I mentioned this on, I believe it was Monday's talk show that I did. Sometimes, folks, it isn't necessarily going into everything we know. Like Drake said, strike up a conversation. I'll tell you something I did. The Occupy Wall Streeters here in Texas found out that I was going to be coming to their Occupy Wall Street events. Now, I'm not exactly what you call into the Occupy Wall Street events, but I do believe in protecting people's First Amendment rights to be able to assemble peaceably and to rally. And I went to some of those events. Well, folks, I wasn't met with a bunch of anger or anything like that. Those people were happy to see me. And when I did get a crowd of them around me, it wasn't necessarily what I had to say to them first. It's like I told them when they asked me, well, what do you got to say, Minuteman? I said, well, I'm really not here just to say a whole lot, but I'm here to listen to you. So try to get people to talk to you and then go into what you're saying. Sometimes that makes a world of difference right there, folks. And they haven't got to bludgeon people with all the inside information that a lot of us all have. Some of that's pretty hard for people to take, and it takes just a little while to get them used to the fact. Let them go find things on their own and then progress the conversation from that. Believe me, I've seen that happen time and time again of 21 years of just doing the militia movement alone. And Drake, I'm going to tell the folks something that I've told you that happened to me in 1995. So folks understand a little more about the military. Now, folks, you can go talk to some of the old-time militia people that brought the movement up in the 90s. Some of us were invited to meetings with certain military people. And what you need to understand is some of those military people encouraged the buildup of the militia to what you see it is today. The only thing they wanted us to do back in the 90s was to build and just to hold and keep building because, well, they announced that there was a plan within the military to take this nation back under its constitutional foundings, and they didn't want the militia doing something arbitrary to start a fight before its time. And for the most part, that's why, well, you didn't see a confrontation come out of the militia in the 90s. Now, did they try to push one at us? You bet you they did. Yeah. But it didn't work too well. We seemed to keep our peace, and, well, we just kind of let time roll on, and now here we are to today's time. Now it's needed more than ever because now we're seeing our rights get eroded just like you wouldn't believe. It's like a giant tsunami rainstorm hitting a bare, dry hill that has no grass on it, folks. It's just washing the dirt away. It's insane. This stuff is insane, and that should be your motivation right there to get busy. Remember, folks, the military are basically us. They are of us. They've got grandma and grandpas and aunts and uncles, moms and dads and brothers and sisters out there. And another thing I'd like to mention is this stuff about martial law. Folks, I think Drake can attest to this, and many others too. They haven't got the manpower to shut this country down, much less the world. They would have to do that systematically in tiny little pieces at a time. And that's just the way it is. They could take every soldier in the world with every mercenary they could find, and they still haven't got the manpower to get that done. We outnumber them probably 10,000 to 1. That's just the fact. So I wanted to address a couple of those issues, Drake, because, man, I sure do see a lot of fear out there. And what I want people to realize is the same thing you know and many others, that, folks, the cabal or the bad guys, whoever you want to call them, they're putting that out there to keep you sitting in your chair in fear. And that has to end, folks. I've been doing the militia movement for 21 years, and I'm still alive and well. I've never been threatened. Matter of fact, quite the opposite. Most of the law enforcement, even FBI agents that I've ever run into,